Hello everyone, in this video we'll be going to discuss about the multiplication of integers on number line. You all know how to do the multiplication of numbers, but we can do the multiplication on number line also. Let's start. So here we have some laws that we have to follow. So the first rule is that to find the product of two integers with same sign, we find the product of their values regardless of their sign and give a plus sign to the product. I'll give you example, don't worry. So if we have plus and then we are multiplying with another number which is also a positive, so plus and plus will gives the result as plus. Now if we have the subtraction or the negative and negative, like two numbers we have which are negative integer, and if we multiply them the result will be positive integer. Let's take example. So if we have here 2 times 2 which will result as 4, right? Now see here both are the positive, so the result is also positive. Now if we consider negative 3 times negative 2, see here both numbers are negative, so when we'll multiply it we do not have to worry about the sign, right? So we will just multiply 3 times 2 which is 6 and that will be positive, right? So if both are having the same sign, whether it is positive or positive, negative, negative, the result will be always positive. Now next we have if they are having unlike sign, like one of them is negative and one of them is positive, or one of them is positive and the other one is negative, then the result will be always negative. See here, if the first number is positive and the second number is negative, the result will be negative. Similarly, if the first number is negative and the second number is positive, the result will be again negative. Let's take the example. So here we have negative 3 times 2. Now, so what we have to do, just do the multiplication 3 times 2, that is 6, and put the negative sign. Now here we have the another number or multiplication, say 2 times negative 5. So both are having the unlike sign, one of them is positive and the other one is negative. Just do the multiplication, so 5 times 2 or 2 times 5 which is 10, and just put the negative sign. So these 4 rules that you have to remember to do the multiplication of integers. Now let's try to do the multiplication on number line. So let's say we have to do 3 times 4, okay? So let's have the number line. Now first we have to start from 0, right? So we will jump of 3 steps and 4 times, okay, like this. So we'll start from 0 and this is like 3 steps we are jumping in one time, so 3 steps. So 1 jump, 2nd jump, 3rd jump and 4th jump. So you can consider this as a number of like steps we have to take together, and this is like number of jumps, right? So the first jump, 2nd and 3rd and 4th. Right, 4 times, like we are multiplying with 4, that's why we are like jumping 4 times, and the result is 12, which gives 3 times 4 which is also 12, right? So we start from 0, right? Remember that. Now let's take the different multiplication. So this time we have here 3 times negative 4, okay? So here we have to, like we are trying to multiply, one number is positive and the other one is negative here. So again we'll have the number line. Now remember that when we are multiplying with negative number, we will jump in opposite direction, right? So again we'll start from 0 only. Now we will jump of 3 steps, and how many jump? 4 jumps, but the number is negative, that's why we are jumping in opposite direction, like this. So first jump of 3 steps, 2nd jump, 3rd jump and 4th jump. So finally we will reach to negative 12, right? Now again I am repeating why we are going in negative direction, because of the number is negative, right? And the first number, it explains that, or it tells that the number of steps we have to take in one jump. So here like we have 3 steps, 3 steps, 3, 3, and the result is negative 12. Now here we have some general rules that we can apply. See, a times negative b, which is also equals to negative a times b, and that is also equals to negative a times b, right? We can just put everything in bracket and put the negative sign outside. Here a times b is equals to negative a times negative b, which is also equals to a times b. Now let's have some questions based on this. Find the product of negative 4 times 5. Now we know the rule, that is if we are having the same sign, the result will be positive. If we are having different sign, then the result is negative, right? So we can do the directly multiplication here. So do not worry about the sign first, right? Just do the multiplication. So we know that what is 4 times 5, right? So that is 20. And now consider the sign here. So one of them is negative and the other one is positive. So we have to keep the negative sign here. So the answer will be negative 20, right? So the correct answer is negative 20. Now let's have the next question. Negative 11 times 7 is not equals to. It means we have to solve every options here. Okay, let's do the first option, right? 11 times negative 7, so that is also 11 times negative 7 is negative 77, right? That's it, right? And here we have the second one, minus 11 times 7, so we can do the multiplication of this. So, and the negative sign is outside. This also results negative 77. Now, see, negative 7 times 11, so negative 7 times 11, which is also equals to negative 77, right? Now, here both are the negative, and we know that if both are the negative, then the result is going to be positive, right? So, if we will solve the D part, negative 11 times negative 7, which is equals to positive 77, which is like different from all the above. So for this, like option D, which is not equals to, right, to negative 11 times 7. So option D is the right answer. Now let's have the next question. So next question we have here, replace the blank with an integer to make it a true statement, right? Okay, see here, negative 3 times something, and we are getting a positive result. Now we know that we will get positive only if both are having the same sign. So if the first number is negative, the second number must be negative to get the result as positive. And we know that 3 times 9. So the fill in the blanks or the blank space will have negative 9 here. Now here 5 times something, like 5 times one integer here, and the result is negative. Now when we get the negative result, when one of them will be having the positive and the other one is having negative. So here we'll get negative 7. Similarly, see, negative result and one of them is already negative, so the other one has to be positive. So that will be 7, like 7 times 8, that is 56, and 8 is negative, so negative 56. And here we'll have, see, the result is positive. It means both numbers must be negative, right? Same sign, it's positive, unlike sign, it's negative. So it will be negative 6. So answer will be negative 9, negative 7, 7, and negative 6. Now here we have some important results. Let's discuss that. So if we have A1 and it's negative A1, negative A2, negative A3, now A1, A2 and A3, all these are the some integers and all these are the negative integers. Now if the n is odd, it means we are having odd number of negative integer, which is also results as, see, we can put the negative sign outside because we know that when we multiply negative sign odd times, the result is negative. So we do not have to worry about the sign, whether it is positive or negative. Just do the multiplication and keep one negative sign outside, and that's it. That is equals to. Now next we have same case. If we have even number of integers, then the result will be positive, right? We do not have to worry about the sign again. So what we can say that if you are multiplying the negative sign even times, the result will be positive, right? Now here we have negative a times negative a and negative a like n times. So that is also results to negative a power n, where n will be odd. It means still it will be negative, right? Because if we have n as odd, remember that wherever we are having negative, definitely the n will be going to be odd numbers. Now the same case we will be having if we are having negative a and negative a n times where n is a even number, then the result will be positive, right? I hope you have understood this. Now next we have, it's for 1, right? Now we can use this law or this rule to get this result. Now what we are trying to do here is, we are multiplying -1 times -1 and -1. How many times? N times where n is odd. So we know that 1 times 1, and we can do like so many times, still the result will be 1. But why we are getting here -1? Because the number of times we are multiplying 1 is odd. And we can get the same result as positive if we are multiplying -1, -1, -1 even times. So the result will be positive 1. Now next we have one question. Let's try to do the multiplication here. So -10, -20 and -30. The first thing is 3 times negative sign we are multiplying. It means the final answer will be negative. Now -10, -20, -30. Now do the multiplication. So here we'll have 30 times 20, which will gives the 600. 600 times 10, which is 6,000. 6,000 of negative. So the answer is -6,000. Now let's do the next question. So find the product of -5 times -7 times -9 times -11. So 4 times negative sign, it means the final answer will be positive, right? So -5 times -7, -9 times -11. Now if we multiply like these two, so we'll get 35, and if we multiply these two, we'll get 99. So we can multiply further, and the result we'll get is 3,465. So the right answer for this is 3,465. Now let's do the next question. So find the product of -2 times -2 times -2. So here we have odd times negative again, right? So -2 times -2 times -2. So what is 2 times 2? That is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. We'll get 8 of negative because we have odd times negative sign. So -8 is the answer. Now let's have the next question. Find the product of -3 times -3 times -3 times -3. 4 times negative sign, it means the result will be positive. So what we can do, -3 times -3 times -3 times -3. So we can do the normal multiplication. So 3 times 3 is 9, and again 3 times 3 is 9. Then we have 9 and 9. So 9 times 9 is 81. So the result will be 81, right? So that's the right answer. Now let's have one more question here. -1 power 217, -4 power 11, -3 power 13. Result in a negative integer, positive integer, 0 and none of these. So let's write it down. -1 power 217 times -4 power 11 times -3 power 13. Now here we have -1, and how many times we are multiplying, or what the power is, that is odd. So this will be negative. Now here we have -4, and again the power is odd here, so it will be also negative, right? And -3 power 13, which is the power is also odd, so it will be also going to be negative. Now we are multiplying negative, negative, negative. 3 times negative we are multiplying. Again the final result will be also negative, right? So the answer will be option A. That's the right answer. That is option A. Now let's see what we have discussed in this video. So we discussed the multiplication of integers on number line, and also we discussed some important results. Thank you.